Meeting's to order. I was expecting Michael Ray, but I tried to call him and I got que pasa de nada. So I think either I had the wrong number or Michael has learned how to speak Spanish really quickly. So,
oh, he's doing that to me too. That's how he blows you off. No, I'm kidding.
so I'm calling the meeting to order, and we're expecting Anna shortly, and hopefully Michael Ray speaking English. In accordance with the requirements of the open meeting law, please be advised that this meeting is being recorded and broadcast over Lunenburg Public Access Channel. No, it's not. Later. This meeting's recording will be available on Lunenburg Public Access YouTube channel within 24 hours, and I want to speak to that later. We have a couple of announcements. That's why Lou Franco is joining us, but first I would like to read something from Sue.
Oh, don't make us cry.
Thank you. Dear COA members, thank you also very much for the very generous gift card to Central Mass Gardens. I absolutely love that place and will put it to good use. I also want to thank you for the door plaque. It makes me feel very important. Lastly, thank you for your friendships over the years, and I wish you all the best luck at the Lunenburg COA. Sue.
Sue, if you're watching, come back.
No, you cannot say that now. I don't think that's going to happen. So, I would like to introduce Lou Franco, our former select board member and former liaison to the Council on Aging, and he has a very exciting announcement for all of us.
Well, thank you, Debbie, and I just want to say for the record that the most exciting portion of that title is former.
Come on.
So most of you are aware of the effort that Tom Alonso and I had put forth a couple of years ago for senior tax relief. It went before the town meeting in May of 2023 as Article 21 to petition our legislature to implement a senior tax relief program in Lunenburg above and beyond the existing exemptions. And I am very pleased to announce that the governor signed this into law on January 6th. So Lunenburg now has senior tax relief. Yay. And I'm not going to get into the weeds right now because that's what Jack does. Jack gets in the weeds.
Only if Jane lets me. I didn't let you last night.
You got to reel him in. No, there's a time for getting into the weeds, but just by way of review, again, this is above and beyond the existing, and it's means tested, so there are qualifications. The way we structured this, Tom and I, is that we wanted it to be for people that had been in the town for a substantial period of time. They didn't just move to Lunenburg to get tax relief, but they had been here for a number of years, 15 years, continuously owned a residence or home. Well, it can be a condo too. Well, it is a home. And other qualifying criteria. So that's not for the moment right now, but the maximum amount of the relief will be equal to the senior, the circuit breaker, which is $2,730 right now. That would be the max that that a person would be eligible for, and there would be other limitations on it too. Like the total amount in relief in the aggregate for all applicants will not exceed 1% of the tax levy, because we had to put a stop gap in there I don't anticipate that we would bump up against this anytime soon. That's a pretty large number in relief, but that would be the max. And then what would happen after that is, let's say the total aggregate qualifying amount of relief exceeded the amount of 1% of the levy by, say, 33%, then what would happen there in that case is that each applicant individually would get 75% of what they applied for. They would just be chopped off. In other words, the stop loss measure, not the stop loss, but the stop the measure to prevent it from going beyond 1% of the levy. I will not get into the weeds of the legislation. That's going to be for another event that Jack will talk about. But if anybody has any general questions at this moment, I would take those.
You want to tell people how to apply for it?
How it works?
How to apply for it?
Yes, well, what you do is you go, that is now the Board of Assessors problem.
Which is why you're different.
You apply through the assessing department, yes. Just like any of these other exemptions, that is the office to go through. There's also a very good website for the Board of for the assessing department and the Board of Assessors. And that is, if you just know nothing and you say, here's my situation, what do I qualify for? They can guide you through the process.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you for all your efforts to do
Thank
this
you.
on behalf of the Lunenburg seniors.
Thank you. I do appreciate that because I've said it many times even at the Council on Aging, but also to a lot of people personally, that in my one term on the select board, if that was the one thing I got done, then that term was a success. And so I do feel like that term was a success now because of that. So thank you.
We very much appreciate that.
Thank you.
Okay, is there any public comment? Seeing no public here, I guess.
If I could respond to Lou throwing me under the bus. In terms of the forms, I've been in contact with DOR, and there's a lot of questions that are still needing to be resolved in terms of how do we process the thing? What do we do? We don't know, we haven't developed the metrics yet in terms of the candidates and how much the classifications, and there's a lot to go through to develop. And I'll steal some of my own presentation, but the reality is we're a good year away from being able to enact a lot of these things. That's my best guess because we just don't know. And there's some parts that we have to work on. So, but it's a wonderful thing. It's a major upgrade. We have a lot of good upgrades going. A lot of things are moving right now. But Lou, you guys did a good job. Thank you.
Thank you. And I will just say also that I'm not just leaving you for dead now. Since I understand intimately the nuts and bolts of this thing and what the intent is, I will be there for over some coffees for some implementation. So,
Right, we have to buy it for you.
what's it? Yes, yes.
Okay. Is there any board comment? I have one. Okay. Channel 8 is currently showing this meeting at 9:30 p.m. on Tuesday and 11 p.m. on Saturday. You can also get it, yeah.
Nobody will watch.
Exactly. So I'm reading for Storytime tomorrow, so I'll be talking to Joe Toll about that scheduling. I hope we can get that a little more senior friendly for times. And she said actually there's no particular set schedule because meetings run long, meetings get put here and there, so that's not even set in stone, but I'd like to see a more senior-friendly schedule than 11 o'clock on Saturday night. So I'll get back to you on that, but we're going to have the YouTube location put in the newsletter from now on, so hopefully people can get access to our meetings through YouTube, which is going to be whenever they want to get it, rather than trying to stay up at 11 o'clock on a Saturday night. So I just want to make that comment. Does anybody else have a board comment? Okay, moving on. Michael Ray's not here. I don't know if he's coming.
I did text him. I'll let you
Okay,
know.
yep, so did Caesar.
Yeah.
So also,
He took me too.
Ina Thompson is here and she has to leave, and so is Barbara Coulomb. And I'm going to move up the Eagle House Supporters Report and introduce two of our new board members, our president and our vice president, I'm so excited about this new board, and Ina is going to give us a little flavor of what this new board is
Yes.
interested in doing in their new projects.
Great, great.
This
Thank
is
you very
Ina
much.
and Barbara.
Yes. Well, thank you very much for inviting us and to introduce ourselves. I'm Ina Keo Thompson, the president of the Go House the Borders. And this brand new board has been put together very fast and quick. I was first approached, and then thanks to Barbara Colomb, our vice president, she was able to get the rest of our members. We now have 7 running members. We still need more. We can do up to 10. So if any at all wants to join the fund, please approach any one of us. Honestly, our mission is to do basically fundraising to support the seniors and to support Debbie Gudsell, the director here, to do whatever programs we can think of. Our members are myself, Barbara Colomb, the vice president, and Martha Sullivan, she's publicist, John Trainer, our treasurer, and Nicole Waters, she is our website manager, working very hard right now. So is John Trainer to put all the pieces together. And Debbie Consalvo, another board member right now, who's the correspondent secretary. So basically, that's our nutshell. That's what we're going to try to do.
Wonderful.
Yes, work very hard. Hopefully, you'll hear some more of us, from more of us. If unfortunately, I do have another appointment, but I'm going to pass the ball to Barbara if she have to add anything else to it. Please, Barbara. Thank you.
Thank you.
I just want to say thank you to everybody, and I am very excited to be on this board. I think the Lunenburg Adult Senior Center is wonderful, and I'm so happy that we have it, and looking forward to doing a lot of great things with Debbie. And I also just want to say that Lynn Vickery is also a board member, and she is our secretary. Thank you very much.
And I understand that you're going to bring forward things so that people can purchase things through Venmo and
We're definitely looking into Venmo,
And-
because we think that will
and
help
update
with
things
fundraising
so
and things.
it's
yes.
not just cash and check in the
Right.
future.
Yes,
So that's
absolutely.
exciting news.
Absolutely.
So we had talked a little bit about having liaisons between your two groups, and so we should move forward with that maybe at the next meeting. So if you let us know when your meeting is,
Okay.
we can send somebody, and one of you is always welcome at this table
Thank
as
you.
well. So
Thank
when
you
you
very
choose
much.
somebody, please let us know and come to our meeting,
Thank you very much.
okay? And thank you for being here. Thank you all for stepping forward. Please pass that along to
I
your
will.
members.
Thank you.
These ladies are here as much as I am.
I know, I know. It's wonderful, thank you. Okay, Jack, you're up.
Can't you send him first? First of all, my name is Jack Rabbit, but I'm commonly known as the husband of Jane. No one knows me. Everybody knows Jane. And plus, and she puts up with me. So anyway, thank you. Hey, the purpose of coming here is to essentially invite you, but to invite the entire senior community. Deb and I have been talking back and forth, and one of the things we've been talking about is some of the demographics. What jumps out, no matter what, is about 30% of the 3,000 people are Lunenburg residents are 60 years and older. You folks represent that group, and it's probably the most single largest cohesive group in town. You have the ability to bring people together and to even cause voting, but at the same time to educate them. And our problem is that essentially most people don't have a computer, or excuse me, our population group does not use our computers, so we can send everything out, but it's not going to reach it. The way is to do word of mouth at the coffees and stuff to create this awareness, because the data would suggest that basically, according to AARP, that more than 8 million people qualify for property tax relief, and yet only 8% apply. It's because they're just simply not aware. And I know because of Deb calling us out last year and saying, hey, we need to know more with regard to tax assistance and such. That's became one of our drivers. And trust me, this boss over here tells me the same thing. So in either case, they're there, and we're the big piece. So anyway, we're trying to put on this series of presentations. This is our second one. First year was okay, but there weren't the degree of changes that are going on right now last year. And so it causes us to have a different kind of a conference. And we've got I've included the agenda, and essentially we're going to have Deb and I are going to get up and talk about the changing senior imperative. There is so many things going on, John. The population shifts are dramatic, the housing needs are dramatic. And by the way, I also want to say thank you to Sue, as well as Deb, and the other Deb, our Debs, now we have Debs, for giving me all sorts of hints in terms of what we need to deliver to help this particular group, of which I am a member. So anyway, then we're coming back and we're going to talk about demographics. We're going to be talking about home sales, where they're going, what you can anticipate it being on a fixed income. What you're going to see is your house growing, values growing, you're going to see your taxes going up too. Mm-hmm. That's going to put a lot of pressure on folks. And the big message here is there is some help. It's just that we need to be able to get to people to tell them this help is coming on. And Lou's package came in great. We're still digesting this, but there's some other big pieces that were actually on our books, but the ground rules changed in terms of qualification ground rules, in terms of how you can qualify. It used to be that maybe 240 people were below the poverty levels, and they were lucky if they could make it into the program, because the requirements were really low in terms of how much you could earn. It's changed dramatically. We're going to talk about that at the conference, sales prices, mortgage and interest rates, and what you can anticipate, and how you can potentially go into a deferral program that causes you to come out way ahead of the game, way ahead of the game. In fact, if you hold on to your house, you're able to stay in your house for 15 years, you'll be about $140,000 ahead of where you were before because of this. Okay, so then we're going to go through that piece, and we're going to have Margaret Scarsdale come in, give you an update with regard to a number of things. I'm not going to steal the thunder. We've got the Lunenburg Senior Housing Update with Michael Ray. Michael, most people probably don't know this, but Michael is the Senior Vice President of the name, what's the name?
Mass Development.
Mass Development. He knows his stuff, and he's got a lot of things going with regard to housing and housing development. And he's the head of the development committee of town, and you're going to see a lot of neat things, and pay attention to that part. There's hope. Then we've got Linda McQuaid coming in and talking to you about the exemptions that are available. And there have been a number of changes, and so we're going to highlight those in terms of how people can qualify, what you can expect. And then we've got a second called the Game Changers, and they really are. The senior circuit breaker, and if I'm going to jump up to graphics, this thing is a world beater. And what it'll do is the concept was that almost 2 years ago it came along, right? Circuit breaker loop, about 2 years, in this form.
In this form.
And essentially, if someone can't pay their taxes and things like that, they've found ways of helping. Anything we do has to start off with a circuit breaker. And that circuit breaker is going to allow us to have people apply for directly better personal tax, income tax deductions. They're going to allow them to participate more in the 41 exemptions. This your means tested is absolutely required to participate. And at the same time, the one that I'm really excited about is the 41A property tax deferral. And what it does simply is it allows people to say, you know what, I'm qualified, I can't afford to pay my taxes. So what you can do is defer them. It doesn't go away. You are going to eventually pay it back when you sell the house or when you pass. You think you have to, it's death and taxes kind of thing. You don't have to worry about it. But in either case, what the town has done in the past, and it's been on our books, is that they lowered the interest rate from 8 to 4%. Now, with all these increased ceilings, you can defer your taxes, paying your taxes. You don't have to pay a penny. It goes into an accrual, and you're paying 4% of the money. If you compare that to holding on to the house and the value appreciations, like within the demographics piece, you're going to come out way ahead. Stay in your house for as long as you can. The taxes aren't going to drive you out. Take that money, that $500 a month or so that you might be, use it to live, to repair your house, to buy the oil and things like that. So it's dramatic. If you, in terms of the eligibility, you can be a couple now, and before it was about $35,000. Now it's $109,000 that you can earn, right? In terms of filing jointly. You still have to be 65. At the same time, you're worried about the houses, and it used to be we couldn't. I think it was 40,000 or so, Lou, the number, something around that range.
Now you throw me under the bus.
Yeah. Well, you were with us. You were with us. And so now, guess what? Your house can be worth a little more than $1.1 million, and you can still qualify, right? The qualification is a function of what are your taxes? What are you paying for your taxes? Gross. And looking at your gross income and saying, if my taxes and half my water bill is, let's just say $6,000, and you're bringing in less than $60,000 a year, you've qualified. And that opens the door big time in terms of, it's not just people that we had that were living at the poverty level. You can go a little bit above that now. So it's dramatic. It really is. And to give you an idea, the income limits before, it's $20,000. You couldn't make more than 20. So now all of a sudden we're talking about significantly increased incomes. Let's see, household amounts, the circuit breaker, $1 million, I hit that. The defers, you can defer for as long as you want. You don't have to take the whole amount, but I would strongly recommend you do. And if I created this example last page, is if your home in Lunenburg is going to increase about 4% annually in value. And that's being very conservative, considering last year we had 8% and the country saw around 6%. We're going to be in a situation where, especially Lunenburg, is going to continue to grow. We've got the demographic numbers to support that. So if your house was valued at $400,000 and your gross income, family income was $59,000, that's everything. It's gross everything. Social Security and any kind of retirement. But if you're under, that number, under $60,000, you're probably going to be able to make it. So your tax book valuation is $5,744. That's what you're paying for taxes. That's what you could not have to pay. Basically, you add up your total income and your half your tax bill, and just divide it into the total, your income and stuff into the total tax. You're going to be under 10%, then you'll fully qualify. So what we're trying to do is make this information available, tell people, and we really need for you, if you could, and we'll have more information up over to Deb that will explain in a little simpler form what these people can pull off and essentially keep them whole, keep them in town. And there's nothing worse than losing your house, especially at that age. and the amount of stress that a person goes through, worrying about it, not buying bills, not buying medication because you have to pay your taxes, you know. Either that or you lose your house, which is your biggest nightmare. Tell people about this conference. And what we'll do is we will have little forms that they can fill out, do some quick calculations right there if they want, or they can go to the AARP site, we direct them there if they want, and qualify. Or come in and talk to us, and we can help them get through. And if you want Deb and Deb, we'll come in and do a quick session with folks to help them. And that's what we want to do, is we want to make more people aware, and we need you. And by the way, you guys are going to do great things, because there's other pieces going on with Lou's part, and I'm losing my voice. So anyway, that's my pitch. It's February the 3rd at 1 o'clock in the big room. And if you could, just tell your friends. And if you know of anybody that's in that particular situation, let them become aware of it. I've tried to launch a couple of test routines with them. And what I found is that people, first of all, don't want to lose the house, but they want to save something for their kids, pass along to their kids. This allows them to do that.
Right.
It really does. And so that big objection has been overcome. We ran the numbers. Yeah, I can show you how you can get there. So please. Jane, go ahead.
Last evening we were talking, and I don't know, I'm sort of a concrete kind of person at times, and I was saying, oh, exactly what is a circuit breaker? I don't understand what that means in terms of, you know, the whole senior thing. And so Jack has an answer.
Okay, the circuit breaker is picked up from you look at the electrical circuit, and you know, we used to have the old fuses that just blew out, and then you were done. And now they came with circuit breakers that clicked over. Well, what happens is when there's too much electrical stress on a line, right, it'll say, I can't handle this, I'm overheating, so I'm going to click over. And then, so the legislature came back and said, this is a good analogy, because when there's too much stress, especially on our seniors, it's going to blow up. How do we save them? How do we keep that appliance intact without cooking itself? Hence the word circuit breaker, and they've used that. And they've used that to essentially reference other old articles that had a lot lower numbers. And again, the game has so opened up and has so changed. And we need to get that out to folks and tell them there is a way. Now someone's asking, is there going to be stress on the town? The fact of it is that a person is still going to pay 4% interest. It's a bond rate. You know, if you buy bonds, it's about 4%. We got the numbers right there. And so it's the same thing. The town has to figure out how to take that 4% and hold on to, you know, annually, and how we're going to make up for the shortfall in the cash flow. That's part of the challenge. It's very, very doable. I know of 2 other towns that have done it, but they don't have the big numbers. But also, the new circuit breaker, the upgraded circuit breaker, did not affect those numbers. One town had 2, another one had 10. Right now, we have about 19 folks that are on exemptions, just basic exemptions. I'm thinking we're gonna go to 50 pretty quickly. And that would be a really good thing in terms of helping people. And isn't that what we're all about? You know, so please tell them about the conference, and if you know any folks that can qualify, you know, give a holler. Sure.
Jack, I just want to reiterate for people at home, it's Monday, February 3rd at 1 o'clock,
Right.
and there will be coffee and refreshments.
There you go.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay.
Thank you for all your work, Jack.
Oh,
We appreciate
we're
it so
just
much.
here. Okay, thank you.
Okay, update on Lunenburg Master Plan meeting. No, there was not. There has still not been a master plan meeting. Pete's resigned from the committee due to health reasons. I think I might still be on it, but I haven't heard anything. So you'll be the first to know if we ever meet again.
Yeah, I haven't heard that there's been anything scheduled, so I think you're still on it, but there's just no update.
There was a presentation in the library last month, and Carter had told the committee that since it was not posted properly and it was not an official meeting, that members, if they went, couldn't speak, so I chose not to go, because I can't not speak. You may have noticed. I don't believe any other committee member went. I think there were 6 attendees from town.
That's sad.
Yeah.
Well, it didn't get advertised properly, it didn't get posted properly, so that's the last I've heard.
There's no leadership, whatever.
And
No one's in charge. The president resigned, no one has taken her place,
so-
and so who, you have to have someone making decisions.
Well, I think they really just need to call a reorganization
Yeah,
meeting.
they do.
And it falls under the planning board. It was my understanding that they were tracking that and going to do that, but then when was that? Like in June?
Yeah.
That person resigned, so it's been a while. Yeah.
So anyway, that's where that sits. Update on the 300th anniversary committee. Pete has also resigned from that due to health reasons. I'm still on that. And so we're still looking for things that the center can do. So if you are thinking about that, we're still having a competition on getting a potato rock for the backyard where Luther Burbank did his invention of the russet potato. So we have a competition going with the few people in town that
Proctor, Chapdelaine, and Lutanzi are all looking for the best potato rock.
and each time we see them, I'm gonna get you that rock. So that's still going on. So anybody that wants to think about things that the center can do to contribute to that. We did have I think we did have a float last time with a woman in a rocking chair knitting, and I do not advocate for that this time. I think we need to have something a little more dynamic this time.
Like pickleball?
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
That's a good idea.
All right, well, so start
They are
with
amazing.
that.
That would be awesome.
Okay,
Hey, Deb?
Yes.
Just, Chairman, if I can make a suggestion, contact Brett Ramsden. He is the rock king in town.
all right.
He's the one that builds all the walls.
Okay.
If you drive by his lot, he's got all sorts of rocks there.
All right, well, we'll put the competition, we'll put the competition out to him too.
There you
We'll
go.
be 4 competitive rock people.
Rock.
Maybe we'll have multiple rocks, it'll be a potato garden. No.
You chop them up in French
No.
fries.
All right, moving on to the Boston Post Cane Award. We still are looking for an awardee. Is your mom still refusing? Yes. Okay.
Surprise, surprise.
know.
So Mary Stanley is the next recipient, and she refused. Okay. So we need to find the next person. No,
Oh, that
that's
Oh,
Elena's mom refused.
Okay.
Mary Bentley refused. We need
Yeah.
to find the next person.
I'm on it.
All right,
Okay.
okay. All right.
I'll give you a holler. I'll send you my email addresses.
So, on to current business, discussion of Neshoba Valley Medical Center. And Margaret Scarsdale sent a letter to Deborah, which I can read to you. And also I have an update from our doctor. But let me read this first. Good afternoon, this is from Margaret Scarsdale. Thank you to everyone for your patience regarding an update on the Neshoba Valley Medical Center. This work continues to be one of my top priorities, and work continues every day to develop the plan to get this emergency center back online. In the second week of December, the governor's Neshoba Valley Medical Center Working Group announced the formation of a new subgroup that will focus on restoring emergency and ancillary healthcare services to Neshoba Valley. I am honored to be named co-chair of this group alongside Air Town Manager Robert Pont-Briand. I don't know if I remembered that name. It is painfully clear that the closure of NVMC left our communities with very limited options for medical care, especially when it comes to life-saving emergency services. This subgroup has been meeting weekly with two main goals in mind. One, sustainably address the lack of critical healthcare services in the Neshoba Valley region, including emergency, outpatient, and related healthcare services. Two, explore and report on potential funding sources to establish those needed services responsibly and equitably for the communities of North Central Massachusetts. In addition to Mayor Pontbriand and myself, there are 7 other members of this group, including Fire Chief Timothy Johnston of Air, Fire Chief Steele McCurdy of Littleton, Audra Spray, formerly ER nurse at NBMC, and representative for the Massachusetts Nurses Association, Dr. Amjad Hussain, Dr. Stephanie Godfrey, Maria Cerniotis, Congressman Lori Trahan's office, and Sarah Graham, Executive Office of Health and Human Services. This group is currently completing a pro forma that outlines the essential services needed. The ER will need labs, radiology, cardiology, etc. We also want to make sure we are addressing other healthcare needs that the community has expressed are vital: gastroenterology, surgical daycare, diabetes management, and others. There are multiple designs NVMC could receive. The designation determines different regulatory processes required, operating constraints, etc. Examples are critical access hospital, freestanding emergency department, federally qualified healthcare, and others. We are doing our due diligence with each of these. Some don't apply to us. For example, we don't meet the federal guidelines for a rural emergency hospital, but we do continue to work closely with our federal delegation to determine if and when waivers might be needed, access to funding, etc. Additionally, I've heard from other elected officials that we should just open MVMC as an urgent care center. I am unequivocally opposed to that, as urgent care does not meet the needs of our community for emergency care, especially since urgent care have fixed hours and do not take emergency patients. In addition to this work that will be needed to restore NVMC, a critical piece is to secure a healthcare provider, not a private equity firm, to run the hospital, and that work continues unabated. 2024 fittingly ended with pivotal legislation that will close regulatory loopholes exposed by the collapse of Steward Healthcare. This bill, H5159, will increase financial transparency through stronger reporting from hospitals, private equity, and out-of-state owners, along with heightened penalties for non-compliance with data reporting requirements. This bill helps return us to a system that prioritizes healthcare over profits and stops an entity like Steward from ever being able to do this in our state again. We will keep you updated as this subgroup works progresses. It is a dedicated group, and I and my colleagues are committed to this work. Thank you for your continued support, and please don't hesitate to reach out if you have any questions. Truly, Margaret. So, that's good news. And when we saw our doctor, who was affiliated with Neshoba, he said that it would probably be 18 months to 2 years before we would actually see something like this happen, but that he's part of this process as well, and they are working really hard on this. So, but it would be about 18 months, he guesses.
Did anybody say if this has the support of the governor? Because that would be critical, really.
Well, let's just say she hasn't been supportive so far.
I know, that's what I mean. Okay.
Well, she talks about the legislature, I don't know. I'm sure they're working on it.
I know
Okay.
she is. I know she is.
She is,
Yeah.
really.
I can have her come here if you want.
Sure.
Yeah, that'd be
Margaret
great.
Scarsdale, she'll come from.
Oh, Margaret is. No, she's talking about the governor.
No, we're talking
Talking
about
about
the
the
governor.
governor.
Oh, the
governor's
governor,
support.
forget that.
No, Margaret definitely is.
Oh, Margaret Scarsdale, this is
She's
from
really
Margaret.
working
Yeah.
on it.
Oh, this is Margaret. We're talking
Yeah.
about the governor,
Yeah.
who has not been, to our knowledge. No, I don't know.
Okay.
I've heard nothing that the governor is. But that's as far as we know, but we have a representative that's really in the weeds for
Well,
this.
it's progress.
Yes. And it's not just sitting there with nobody doing anything, so that's good news. Okay,
Then you skip the minutes.
I did skip the minutes.
Oh,
Oh, because we had to go ahead. Sorry. So, thank you for reminding me, Mr. Lincoln. So is
Just
it?
reminding me.
So, well, it's next to my pile. So we have 2 sets of minutes. So has everybody had a chance to read those? We have extra minutes because we had an executive session. So has everybody had a chance to read the minutes? So, do I hear we do them one at a time. So for the first, we should do them probably in order. So for the first set of executive session meeting minutes, do I hear a motion?
I move that they be approved.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, they pass unanimously. All right, the December 10th minutes. Do I hear a motion to approve those?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, any opposed? All right, those passed unanimously. Thank you for that reminder. Followed up. All right, that was in my pile next, thank you. Jack threw me off. All right, thank you. All right, so the COA fiscal year 26 budget. Do we have some comments about that at all? Do we have any update on that?
not much to talk about.
Okay.
It's a small budget.
All right.
It's assigned to what line each thing handles and
Okay. All right.
it's basic.
Okay, so we will be getting financial reports quarterly starting in March from our new director. Regards that budget, I was hoping Michael would be here because one of the things that we have been working on, and I think it's down, it's coming up in parking lot, so I'll talk about that in the parking lot update. But one of the things that I was hoping that Michael was here is because I've been talking with Michael offline, and this area right next to us is no longer, I believe, under the care and custody of the select board, but it belongs to the schools.
Yep.
So we want to deal with the playground and flip part of the playground over to the other side, which belongs to the school, or potentially even move the playground somewhere else in order to have a parking lot there. That belongs to the schools. So we now have a further obstacle to get permission from the schools to have that property, I believe. So I was hoping that Michael would be here to discuss that, because part of this building and redesign committee mission is, I believe they're talking about a new school building, and would it be on this campus, and would they want to have this property? So I was hoping he would be here to clarify some of their plans, but he hasn't been here, so we'll invite him back to the next meeting. Because if there's going to be a campus here, if they're going to tear TC Passios down and put a new school here, and that's in their plans, then would they not be willing to give us this land for a parking lot? So we need to talk about that. So, the formula grant is,
October should have been the last installment. There should be another one coming in April.
okay,
And Sue filed all the paperwork for it, so it's all set.
okay, great. All right, Mark Connect,
Yeah. So Jane, Susan, and I worked on a letter that we can send to Mark and whoever else really, if we want to CC our state delegation. I've been talking to them about it, and they're fully on board with advocating to try to get Mark to help us include trips to the Worcester hospitals in the Mark Connect program. So I'm just going to read that letter, and then if you guys want to sign on to it, we can send it over to them.
awesome.
So it says, Dear Mart, and we can actually include people that we're sending it to. I don't know individuals yet who it's going to go to, but thank you for your continued services and for expanding the Mart Connect program to include rides to Emerson Hospital. Given the closure of Neshoba Valley Medical Center and the limited services of nearby healthcare centers, many of our residents receive medical care out of the Worcester area hospitals and have limited means of transportation. Therefore, they rely on the services public transportation provides them with. Many of our elderly residents are experiencing difficulties getting to medical appointments to receive the health care they need due to this lack of public transportation in our area. Additionally, many of our residents who require the most medical care also experience mobility issues. The current option of utilizing Mart Connect to get to Fitchburg and then transfer to a shuttle to the Worcester area hospitals is not feasible for our elderly population. The distance is similar, in some cases even less, to travel from Lunenburg to the Worcester area hospitals than it is to Emerson Hospital. We urge you to reconsider your decision to exclude the Worcester area hospitals from the Mart Connect program. This service would go a long way in improving access to necessary health care for our senior citizens.
Great. Great. So, what do you need from us? Just
If you guys want to vote to approve it and to send it off to Mart, you guys can all basically, it's from you guys, not me. So.
well, hopefully you would be assigning it. As
Oh, of course, yeah.
Okay. All right.
But more formally, like it would be from the Council on Aging.
Okay.
So.
Do I hear a motion to send this letter?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Any more discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, let's get it
Cool.
up.
All right, so I can work with you guys to actually get your letterhead, so I don't have the COA letterhead.
Okay.
So I
I
can
have
figure out how to
letterhead.
do that. Yeah.
Okay.
I do.
All right, cool.
I even know where it is.
All right, let's get that out. Thank you very much.
Yeah, of course.
Susan and who else? Jane?
Jane, yeah.
Thank you very, very much. This is great. All right. Okay, so I gave you the update on the parking lot. There is a budget item in FY '26 in the capital plan to get an architectural design for the parking lot. So I'm gonna have to find out if that's even worth doing at this point, based on the building design. But I think we should go ahead with that. I think we need to continue to ask for it, regardless of what happens down the road. That needs to be, I mean, Judy knows we've been working on this, Pete knows.
I've
we've
been working on it 26 years.
That's right. It's been-
Good job, Judy.
So that needs to stay, I would guess, in the capital plan budget, and we'll just have to see what happens. But it's interesting what's going on with this design committee. So I was hoping Michael would be here. All right, Sunshine Club. I want to thank Diane for that, and again, let people know if there are folks out there that need Sunshine Club.
I had asked Sue to put a little look in the newsletter, but I don't think she had time to do that.
Okay.
Right now, it's mostly word of mouth.
Right.
Like I heard that one of our Meals on Wheels driver's brother passed away. She's a tapper, so I was able to send her a card. So it's more word of mouth now. So if we could put like a little something in the newsletter.
Can you write me the information?
Sure.
And we'll put it in. February's already gone to press.
I figured it would, yeah.
So March.
Yeah,
Okay.
definitely.
And so if anybody else would like to contribute to that as well, I think, cards are expensive. So if anybody would like to help out Diane, that would be great as well. And if anybody out in TV land has people that they would like to have the council send items to, let the COA know. Thank you. Okay, on to our director's report.
Okay, so we're talking about fencing, and basically it's just to disguise the fencing that's already up there around the generator, just to camouflage it a little bit, make it a little less bold. So we're looking into that. I have been meeting with Chris Ruth from Facilities. He has been wonderful. They've already talked about the flooring, so it'll be in wherever there's rug will be a laminate flooring. So that'll be really nice, and like I said, rugs just get dirty, and yeah, so it'll be nice. I did speak to the interim town manager, Carter, and there is funding that was already allocated towards the kitchen, so we're going ahead with that funding. We've worked with Chris about taking out, you're not supposed to have wood cabinets in a commercial kitchen. So the facilities department taking out the cabinets, but we're gonna put a new gas oven and range, commercial, and convection ovens and a 3-bay sink. So we're gonna have the stainless steel kitchen, and it'll be a nice working area. And like I said, right now, we had, the meal site manager was off one day, and Sandy and I were making mac and cheese. The pan couldn't fit in the oven.
No.
So we had to come to this oven to cook the mac and cheese. So it'll actually be in a commercial oven that can fit the pans, and it'll be great.
Any time frame on that?
I'm hoping to have it done by the end of June.
Great.
Great. So, like I said, we've already contacted companies. They're gonna come out, look at the design. We'll keep the range hood where it is and work with that, because we don't have a lot of money, so we want to kind of save what we have. Put in some racks, and like I said, we'll do the big things first, the stoves and the sink, and then we'll go from there. And if we run out of money, then I'll be looking to others to donate, a stainless steel table or things like that. So we'll do the big stuff first, and then we'll take the little stuff as it comes.
Great.
We are also, I have not talked to them about anything outdoors yet. We'll get to that. And then they are working on the window shades for the main big room. They have somebody that's getting back to us with the estimate now. So I don't have that estimate yet, but it's coming.
Okay. All right, if we can keep it under 20,
Yep.
we don't have to go out to bid.
And we're gonna donate
And
that.
we'll donate that. But I don't want to go through all this rigmarole with,
Yeah. And they're looking
Bids
at
and all that.
matching them, and
Yes.
they're looking at all different things, so
Okay,
it'll be,
great.
it'll
So
be
keep
great.
us in the loop for that.
Absolutely.
Excuse me,
Yeah.
I have a question about that. Now, how are they gonna be operated?
The top will be automatic. There'll be a little button. It'll come down.
So is it
Remote.
battery? Or,
Yeah.
Remote.
Yeah.
Oh, because we had some down in our lower level, and we had a hard time with them because the batteries
Yeah.
died quite quickly, but
How are
hopefully,
these operated? These shades?
I bet they're
I
always
think they're
down.
always down. I've never seen them up.
Good question.
Maybe a little pole stick?
They don't look motorized.
No, they're not
No,
motorized.
they're not.
People at home are like, what are they looking at?
We're looking at shades that don't look like they ever go up.
Yeah, but they will be, the top will be motorized.
Yeah.
The bottoms will not, as a cost savings.
Right.
And the
So-
point is to make the room dark.
Yes.
If
Yeah.
you're watching a movie, you watch a movie in the dark.
Mhm.
And if it's not, it spoils the film.
Absolutely. And if anybody's at home and is so would like to donate a popcorn machine, we would gladly accept a nice new roll cart popcorn machine for our movies. So if you're out there and you like popcorn and you want to have it at the movies, come see me.
All right.
So the other things are just upcoming events. As you know, we do have the Lions Club comes the second Wednesday of every month. Veterans Breakfast is the second Friday of every month. The interim police chief will be here on the 17th. We're closed on Martin Luther King Jr. Day. Constituent hours, so if you want to talk to Representative Scarsdale or Senator John Cronin's Representative Beth Walsh, you're more than welcome to come on the 21st at 11:30. Bill from Highlands, those who know Bill, he is a ride and a half. He's going to do a brain games, so I'm very interested to see what that'll be. We have the Memory Cafe the last Friday of every month. And then coming up in February, there's a lot of things coming up. Most importantly is getting that information out from the assessor's office. So February 3rd at 1 o'clock, please stop by. Even if you don't need the information yourself, come learn to share it with others. So you may not need it now, you may be not even thinking about this now, but your neighbor might use it, your mother might use it, somebody will use it. Please come learn. We do have some different programs coming up. Roger Ticknell will be here on Valentine's Day. We'll have some fun. He'll be doing some guitar playing, some music, singing along, and we'll have some games and fun things there too, probably a door prize. So come on down for that. And then we do have the Sheriff's Office will be here on the 21st of February for scams. This month and next month, the book club will meet at the library. Because of the holidays, they won't meet on that third Monday that they normally would. And there's already activities on the next one, so they'll be at the library for those two. I'm actually going to be meeting with Muir at the library this week to look at some grant funding that's coming up. So we'll be doing that. And then it's not in the February's, but in March on St. Patrick's Day, Luck of the Irish, we're having a trip to the casino. So we'll be going down to Foxwoods. The bus will leave here at 8:30. We'll get down there for 10. We'll leave there at 5, be back here for 6:30, and it is $15. So if you'd like to sign up for the casino trip, come to the office, see Michelle, and she'll sign you up. And I think that's it for right now.
All right. Thank you very much. Okay, we talked about the Eagle House Supporters Group. I'm so excited about this new group. They're just dynamite. And they've been, every time I've been up here, they've been confabbing and looking at things, and I'm just, they're dynamite. So I think they've agreed that we need to have liaisons back and forth. So would anybody like to volunteer to be a liaison to their group?
I would.
Okay, all right.
Thank you.
So can I hear a nomination for Elena to be their liaison? It's okay because it's on the
We have to
agenda.
do a motion for that?
Yes, can you have a motion?
Yeah, make a motion that we have Elena be our liaison to the supporters group.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? All right, congratulations, Elena.
Thank
All
you.
right, so you can be in touch about the next meeting, and please have someone come to our meetings. You're always welcome, or someone's.
We don't want too many of us.
All right. Notices and communications. Does anybody have anything they'd like to say about that? All right, any board comments?
I'll just, I know Mr. Jeffries wasn't here earlier, but I watched the building design committee, and they're very far in the process. I'm very excited about it, to finally come to a conclusion to some of our buildings issues. And I do believe they're looking to have that, come to town meeting in May. And I also got an update from the Parks Commission that they're working on rephasing Marshall Park. So it's exciting to see all these things happening in town finally. These, that are people focused. I'm actually really excited also about the town hall renovation, because that's going to become a meeting space. And I see that as a great possibility to becoming kind of like a starting of a community center, just by having more open space that the community can utilize. We don't have any in town. So anyway, so stay tuned for that, and for both projects that I think are going to be great, hopefully in May, and let's go out and vote for it.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else? All right, do I hear a motion to adjourn?
So move.
Second?
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, any opposed?
Bye, Kaylee.